than somebody else's just because we can't sympathize with the man, or we can't, or because he isn't us, or because he's of a different nationality, or whatever. I mean, in that regard, we're all worth equal, but we are not all equal. Some of us are going to are going to be better than some, and some are going to be faster than others, and others are going to be smarter than those fuckers over there. And it's all about complementing each other. Yeah. That's why I never really liked Locke's whole tabula rasa. Good phrase though, really good phrase. I mean, that dude is like a, I mean, his focus is completely on epistemology, that, you know, all knowledge is derived from fucking experiencing it. I mean, everything you know, you learn, you know, societies teach you what you should think, and, well, actually I agree on him on that shit. But all I'm saying is that, but maybe I'm not interpreting his tabula rasa. I mean, tabula rasa basically states that you are born without any inherent knowledge or preconceptions of the physical world that you come into, right? Like, I'm not fucking making shit up now, or am I? Because that's how I interpret it. The man said that everything that we know is gathered through experiences, and that's why it's up to us to make something of our own lives, because you can't depend on somebody else to make that life for you. We're all created equal in that terms, that we are all starting from the blank slate. Without, I mean, a dude like Hobbes, for example, that dude was amazing. That dude said that, no, we are not born from a blank slate. Quite the contrary, we're all born with a pre-stated or predetermined attributes that I would argue are just, I mean, that's just instincts, just survival instincts. We are selfish because if we weren't, we'd have problems surviving. I mean, why share an apple when you're hungry with somebody when you are fucking hungry? I mean, you don't care about him. You are the one you are focusing on at first. That's your priority, to take care of yourself. When you've taken care of yourself, then you can start worrying about other people. I mean, for me, that's just logical. We are born with a set of natural instincts that governs how we function in life. I mean, if you take, I mean, me and a friend, we talked about this. We said, I mean, he's the kind of guy he's basically the stereotype, the mad scientist dude. He said that he would love to take a couple of toddlers and put them in the room and just study them. That's it. Just put them in the room, you know, have, you know, food and let them shit and let them sleep, all that. But just put them in a giant kind of testing facility and just see how do they evolve. I mean, it doesn't feel like, hey, who knows? Maybe Hobbes was wrong. Maybe these kids will actually grow up to be these enlightened individuals who value knowledge and yeah. But I don't know. But I mean, I'm still on Hobbes' side. I mean, Hobbes, I find it very, very, very unlikely that we can be born into the state of not knowing anything, and that everything we know, we learn. I mean, I do agree with Locke on the epistemologic view that yes, everything, like, there is no free choice. I think that there's another dude who said something like that, Nietzsche, right? That there is no free choice. Everything is just how you have been brought up, and You mirror the environment you have been brought up in. If you are brought up in a tolerant and loving and a caring environment, you will be a loving and caring person. If you were born in a fucking shack in Africa to some degenerate who believes that there's a God and that, you know, then that's the kind of person you're going to be. There's nothing called free choice. And okay, yeah, I can actually agree there. Free choice can go fuck itself. But I mean, free choice as in, I don't know. Tabula rasa. There's just something very off with that statement. Or I mean, I can't fucking critique the motherfucker. I'm pretty sure that he's like infinity times more smarter than me. And if I would have sat down and talked to the guy, he could probably convince me fucking easily that we are all born with a blank slate. But I don't know. Something about that just bugs me. I mean, it's just very, very, I don't know. I mean, I find it very difficult to believe that when we are born and we are hungry, we don't just use, you know, rationality, reason, logic to figure out that, okay, we have to eat something. For me, that's instinct. Like, there's some basic instincts that we are all born with that ensures that we have because it ensures our survival. Without it, we'd be fucked. I find it very, I mean, the fact that we're going to be born and into this blank slate and everything that we know, we learn. Okay, I can see how we rationally came up with that conclusion, but the premise is still a little off. That we're all born knowing nothing. I mean, we don't know anything, but we still have that, I don't know, a predetermined knowledge. It's weird, but it's as if the DNA is fucking yelling to you. All right, when you are hungry, you need to go and eat. When you feel like your bowel movements are starting to squeeze out your ass, then you need to go to the bathroom or in the bushes, whatever. And that's the basic. I mean, the question later is, does this affect anything about how we evolve later? Like, what does our basic instincts have to do with compassion or sympathy or anger or, you know, whatever? I mean, I guess there wouldn't be anything wrong to say, yeah, tabula rasa, we're all born with a blank slate, but with the exception of the basic instincts. Because I can't see people being born without the ability to reason or the ability to feel. No, I mean, do we learn love? Do we learn hate? Do we learn hunger? No, I mean, we just feel it. We just know what it is. Then we give it a name. And sure, sometimes we might get confused about what is what and how it affects us and why we feel what we feel. But I mean, are you honestly going to tell me that at some point in your life you learn what a emotion is, what a sensation is? I mean, isn't that sensation already there? When you do something that makes you happy, have you learned that this thing that you do makes you happy? This particular activity gives you pleasure, and then you you performing this activity gives you pleasure, and subsequently perhaps even makes you happy. I mean, happy and pleasure has been debated over a long time. If happiness is the same thing as pleasure, and if it's the same thing as good. But I don't know. I mean, it just doesn't make sense to me. I can't see that we learn to be happy. When we eat, the pleasure we feel, that sensation, we experience. That's universal to everybody, right? I mean, nobody's going to fucking eat unless he has some kind of fucking disorder. Nobody's going to eat and say, oh my god, if he's... Okay, maybe if he's eating, his boogers or his fucking shit for nourishment, sure, he might say, okay, this is kind of fucked up, I'm not taking much pleasure in this, but if you're hungry and you're eating an animal that you've killed, that you've hunted and killed, and you've prepared it and you're eating it, and that relieves hunger, isn't that a nice sensation? Isn't that a good experience to have? You're relieving the hunger and replacing it with being full. And when you're afraid, isn't it a nice sensation to remove the fear, or find security in a friend, or whatever? Like, isn't that universal for us all? Is that something we learn as we live, as we learn, as we grow and learn? Is that something that we just stumble upon and say, holy shit, having a friend is actually not bad? Or is it something that we just feel like, hey, shit, having this kind of comfort and security in a companion, in a comrade, is pretty nifty. And you just know that from birth. I mean, I think the basic instincts, they just encompass a lot of, well, as the term implies, it just includes a lot of basic stuff. We like having friends because it gives us a sense of comfort. And comfort is nice to have because then you feel like you're not going to fucking die. And when you're safe, and that's a nice sensation. That's a nice pleasure because you're not in danger of losing your life or a limb or be getting hurt or whatever. I don't know. Tabula Rasa. I mean, I understand his train of thoughts, but I don't agree with it. It sounds very faulty. It sounds almost as an... I mean, for all of you toddlers out there, Locke is the dude who basically invented America. I mean, the founding fathers of America, Benji and all those dudes, they basically took everything, they took Locke's political philosophy, I guess, and just applied it to the United States of America. So, I mean, the whole, equals thing, and, it's interesting to see how that mentality has stayed for so long in American culture. It's pretty cool. I don't share that sentiment at all. I definitely understand it, though. But I don't know. We can't be born without anything, without any kind of knowledge or any kind of fuck my ball. Any kind of predetermined actions, or not predetermined actions. That's so stupid. But like,
Malik, you might have been right about that trap. Hengsha Court Garden is under lockdown by Bell Tower Associates.
Bell Tower? They're the police in Lower Hengsha, Jensen. They're under contract with the Chinese government. You think the Chinese...
I won't know anything until I get inside that penthouse.
I don't know. It just sounds wrong. I mean, how would we survive if we just don't recognize some things to be better than others? Like a mom. I mean, when we were Neanderthals and she gave birth, she didn't just toss away the kid. She kind of knew that she had to take care of that kid.